Welcome to the stroller plan from MobileFirst-Personal. The site is free for you to play with. Learn about the system and get comfortable with how powerful the MobileFirst-Personal website construction platform can be, even for people who have never tried to build a website before. You've been given a single website page. It is free for life. Whatever you build here can be used for as long as you wish, since all our plans include both the site creation platform and hosting. Once you build your site, you can see it on the information highway immediately. Even better, you're on the internet for life. When you create your account and log in the first time, you will be shown the terms of service for this site. We suggest you read this document and ensure that you understand that these sites are for your personal use, but want to stress Section 6, where you agree the rights to the website and content. The client understands and agrees that all information, data, text, software, music, sound, photographs, graphics, videos, messages, or other materials as content are the sole responsibility of the person from which such content originated. MobileFirst-Personal reserves the right, but shall have no obligation to pre-screen, refuse, or move any content available via the services. The client agrees that the client is responsible for the client's own conduct, and any content that the client creates, transmits, or displays while using the services and for any consequences thereof. The client agrees to use the services only for the purposes that are legal, proper, and in accordance with the terms of service and any applicable policies or guidelines or law in force, and not use any pirated content. The client agrees that the client will not engage in any activity that interferes with or disrupts the services or servers or networks connected to the services. MobileFirst-Personal claims no ownership or control over any content submitted, posted, or displayed by the client on or through the services, and shall not be liable for the same. The client or third-party licensor, as appropriate, retains all patents, trademarks, and copyright to any content the client submits, posts, or displays on or through the services. The client is solely responsible for protecting those rights as appropriate. Please also familiar yourself with Section 7 as well. Once you have scrolled down the page to the bottom and clicked OK, the screen will clear to show that you're working desktop. While MobileFirst-Personal has been developed to primarily display best on mobile phones, and a mock-up of the screen is visible during editing, we do not recommend that you try to build any MobileFirst adaptive website directly on the phone. Simply put, the keyboard and screen are too small. You should develop your page on a full-size desktop monitor or laptop with a full-size keyboard. Although the website will display flawlessly on your phone, you need a proper keyboard and monitor to develop it. If you can split your screen or have a second monitor, you can also watch the site as the site is simultaneously developed for full-size displays such as desktop, laptops, and tablets. Assuming your equipment is correct, we will proceed with the creation of your first site. Many of our paid plans come with a variety of templates for creating much of the site right out of the gate. It's a quick way for experienced people to hit the ground running. But this site is designed to show you how to locate and customize the various functions and features from scratch. If you don't know what you're seeing, chances are you won't be able to customize a template the way you want it anyway. Much better for you to see the way the interface has been developed and get a firm foundation on how easily it really is to make a website from the ground up. Take a few minutes to familiarize yourself with your new desktop. Moving from top to bottom, go to the right hand top to click on your user email address. In this case, Stroller1. When you do, the registration details are provided. First to be shown is the actual plan you are working with, in this case, MAPPP Stroller. Slightly below, you can either sign out or review account details. We are not interested in signing out and leaving the program, so click Account to see them. This screen tells you the plans presently active and allows you to change the password on your account if you wish. Clicking Billing Details allows you to add any information you are comfortable providing for your account. If you make any changes, make sure that you press the green Save button on the bottom of the form. Billing history is for paid accounts and will provide a history of any plan or product purchases that have occurred. Stroller is a free lifetime account, so no actual subscription is required. Paid plans will show more details on plans or products. Clicking on Products shows the list of products you have purchased and that are currently active in your account. Again, there is nothing to show with a free account. We do not delete any information unless told specifically to do so. Should you ever have a paid plan and decide to suspend payments, your data will remain as well as your website, but you will not have access to maintain or change the site until you have paid up your account. However, you may want to leave for good with no traces left behind. Should you prefer to erase your work entirely, use the Privacy and Legal section to apply the cancellation request. Be careful. Any data in your account will be deleted permanently and not available for future recovery. It is also in this section where you can see most of the current legal documents and when they were accepted by you. Finally, we may occasionally contact you with upgrades or information on MobileFirst-Personal training and notifications. You can cancel any product-related or promotional emails. However, you cannot unsubscribe from accounts-related notifications. The only way to stop all email contacts is by using the cancellation button. To leave, you can use either the gray back button or click on one of the menu items in the left column. Pressing the support or question mark icon brings you to the help section. Actual live support is not available in this case, but you will find that there is a community of fellow users on our MassFluence community site. Don't be alarmed. There is plenty of support provided contextually. If you press search at the Help and Support Center, you will see quite a number of help topics covering the entire range of the product. Contextual help is also available almost everywhere that you may be working. If you see a question mark in the window, you can get more information, often in video format, on a particular area by pressing the question mark. As you can see, when you press the search, you get a very large list of help topics, and they're cover just about everything that you can think of. And we'll go back to the index. The Academy is an exciting module for teachers and course builders. At present, the only courses are ones from my passion site, Tropical Fish Aquarist. This video and its siblings will be added as they are finished. Below the Academy is the Mobile and Websites button. It is the last one that is active on this plan. Everything below is grayed out and pops a message to buy now. Since this is a free plan, these buttons are dead as well. If you do wish to upgrade, you will find a link to our first paid plan at the very top of the desktop view. It is the MA PPP Starter Plan, which offers a very broad mix of 5 websites that will truly get you well started onto the information highway with your own extensive digital real estate assets. For right now, though, let's concentrate on getting your first site up and running as fast as possible. Press the 4th icon down, the monitor icon, to enter the Mobile and Desktop Sites module. It is where the majority of your work will concentrate. Your site should look much like this in the beginning. The site list is empty, and the warning bar below will show you are allowed to make one site maximum. Below the black bar, identify the green plus and create a new site button. Or find the same button on the bottom center. When pressed, a new page will appear with the site you have just created. A confirmation message shows asking whether you want to build the site with a wizard by selecting a template. This plan, as stated earlier, has no templates included, since this is a learning exercise and it's to familiarize how to work with the system you own. If you do click OK now, a blank page appears. This is where you would find templates should they be included in a plan that you have in the future. For the present, we'll go back. And once again, create a new site. And instead, the plan is stated, if you do click OK, blank page appears. Press the back button. If you do click OK now, a blank page appears. Press the back button to get back to the My Sites page. You will see nothing has changed. Try it once more, and instead click on the Click Here button. The Click Here button. I have found that the site is built from pressing the Click, not the Here button, and once fired, the system creates your new site. This is the page where you will spend the most time, creating and configuring almost every aspect of your new site. This new site defaults to the options menu about a third of the way down the page. It is on the line with Pages, Options, E-commerce, and Style. The third menu item, e-commerce, is not activated for this site. If you are interested in the capabilities of the e-commerce platform for your needs, e-commerce is available for everyone who starts with the MAPP starter plan and above. As mentioned, the site starts by moving to the options menu where you can see actual URL of this site. This site is live right now, so it can be seen by anyone who has this link. In this case, it is core3.mk5.co/m/ and then a number. But yours will be somewhat different. If you copy and paste it into a browser on a split screen or second monitor, you could watch all the changes you make displayed in real time with very little lag time. You can also copy or paste the URL onto the browser of your mobile phone to see it build there as well. If you wait a few minutes, we will be loading the site on a phone in real time with generated QR code as well. The first task is to name the website. You can do this two places: at the top of the page where it shows the site ID $51461, or further down where the same site is shown under site name. It is also on this site where you can identify your site with a vanity domain you purchase independently in the long form field just below the core URL. First, though, we rename the site. In this case, I will call it Stroller Card. When we press and save and update, both sites change name. So does the name of the site on your desktop. Stroller Card is now at the top. Also found in the options menu are the header and footer sections. For the moment, we will move on to the header with the header and work only with it. I want the search form on my card. And I want to be able to pass my business card to others directly with a QR code as well. I set the Show and Search form to on and the Show QR code to on and yes as well. Then save and update to see the changes. Click on the section bar to open or close it, such as this way or this way. In this case, I will open the social links in the header to allow me to send people to my Facebook page and any other social media links you have as well. I've already added it to it, so it's there. Now to save it, you save and update. The last section in this page is worth a few words. The custom code in the head section. I don't use this much since I'm truly hopeless at generating code to control the website in a more traditional way. I don't use code often, and I certainly do not manufacture it myself. The only time I will use code is when a snippet is given to me to solve a problem with the formatting, or for some other reason that's exotic on the site. Now on to the page part of the site. It has all pages, home, icon bars, sidebars. I don't use those. What we do want is the home under pages. And now we're at the widgets. We finally come into contact with the power of the system, the widgets. Most of the heavy lifting occurs under the pages section, the first menu item. I need to work on the actual page of this website, so I click the home text link. Here. I selected an empty page when I started the site, but I could have had the system generate a few default widgets for me. I prefer to pick and choose the widgets I use on a particular page when I'm actually working on the page. Click Home and open the page further. Here we are. If you look at the dummy phone to the right, you'll see that the word Homepage is in the upper left-hand corner. I always call the first page home, and I want this site to respond the same way. To change that, look at the headers and titles section. By default, the menu title on a new site is home. The default on the header title is home page. Let's change that to home and save the page. Save and update. Note the change in real time on the dummy phone to the home right away. If you have the site open on a second, hopefully an incognito browser window, you will see a change on the internet as well. To the right is the menu bar. If you click on the QR code, you can load the site into your phone directly from the camera. You might want to ensure your phone is able to capture the site automatically. Otherwise, you might need an app from one of the app stores to read and execute QR codes to your phone. Simply use the camera, pointed at it. Hopefully, there'll be a yellow, on my phone it's yellow, that tells me the actual website that it's going to be clicking to. Press that and go directly to the site. You're live there. Now, to define the first widgets for the site. In this case, we will select 3 widgets to start with: the header widget, the buttons widget, and the content block widget. Add them in any order you like, since all you need to do to reorder them is to point, click, and drag the widget into a desired position. All you need to do is click the black plus Add a Widget. This brings you to a page with a set of widgets available. Any widgets that are not available for this site are grayed out. Select the header widget, then the buttons widget, finally the content block widget. The site works from top to bottom. So the higher the widget is placed in the list, the sooner it fires. This is important to understand since many cases where the formatting seems wrong, reordering the widgets makes them show in a different order, often eliminating the formatting error without any other actions being required. Once the changes are saved, we will next configure a widget. To access the widget, simply click on its name on the left of the bar or the pencil edit on the right. Once changes are saved, next we will configure. We'll start with the header. I am not going to add any graphics in the header image or favicon at the moment for this site, but I do want to have the menu and other header parts always displayed on the phone to the phone user. To accomplish this, we need to set the header menu and links section. Once changes are saved, next we will configure a widget. To access the widget, simply click on its name on the left of the bar or the pencil edit icon on the right. Here or here. We'll start with the header. I'm not going to add any graphics in the header image or favicon at the moment for this site, but I do want to have the menu and other header parts always displayed to the phone user. To accomplish this, we need to set the header menu and links section. The header refers to the top of the website page. This can occupy a very large footprint or much smaller depending on your choice of settings under header height. Many people use full pictures for their header, and often it uses up all the space above the fold, which is a reference to the old-style newspapers that ran their main stories on the top half of the newspaper when it is displayed folded in a stack. I prefer to make the header as small as I can on the mobile phone, so change this heading on the header height on mobile to 25% from same as desktop for the header height on mobile. Save and update. We need to create the background for the home page's header. To do this, go to the field in the Manage Background section under Style. You can select a number of different types of shapes for the background for the header. I selected a solid color, and then move to the square swatch of 00F. If you have a picture you would rather use as the header, select images and use the full screen image box that pops up to browse to the image you want to use. This is important, so take a few minutes to play with the various options and see what they do when you press the save and update, either above the phone or at the bottom of the form. Move down the form until you see the section called Main Contents. Here we can give the header some text. Since I'm making a small business card to promote this product, I will enter its name, MobileFirst-Personal. I will add my name under the subtitle field. Before I move on though, I want to start to personalize the vCard with a font type and color that works with the background. You'll see the default color is black, and it does not work very well with the blue background color I chose. We want to customize that text. Most often the size of the text is fine, right here, this size. Usually the default can be left as it is, but the font is not what I like personally. What font you choose is up to you, but I like Righteous, so I will select that for both fields. Next, we want to deal with the alignment of the text. I prefer centered for my phone, so I select that for both of the fields as well. Finally, we have control over the color of our fonts. In my case, I tend to stay within the color palette of blue and gold, or yellow. Click into the color wheel box to the right of the field and select the color you prefer. For the sake of this example, I will continue with one of the yellows. To see what's been accomplished, I save and update. I encourage you to experiment with the colors and fonts available for your page. When I first purchased this system and started to work with it, the CEO, Scotty Carter, stated that the best way to learn this is to play with it. It is very difficult, if not impossible, to break the system. I admit, I've tried and never been able to do anything worse than user errors. The system is rock solid. Experimentation with the various parts of the construction platform are suggested to you to get your feet wet with the system and begin to understand its simple power. I like to add logos and such to the headers. So moving down the form to the images and videos section, you can add an image there. Some pointers on this. First, and most important, only ever use a graphic which you own or know you have the full rights to use. Never simply bootleg a graphic from other places such as Google or some of the other search engines or any other website. If you're going to use others' graphics, make sure you see that they have Creative Commons rights that allow the graphic to be used for the purpose you wish. Many public domain photos that are okay for use on an individual site are decidedly not okay when used in a commercial venue, such as in a store or other selling type site. A business card is right in the gray area, so make sure you are totally legal with all the graphics you use. There are 3 ways to use the image edition area. The first way is to simply browse. This allows you to use graphics you have stored on your personal hard drives or possibly cloud servers, assuming you have access to them from your computer's file manager. The second method is to use the graphics that are included with the system. These are royalty-free images that are available to use as you require. Should you use one of these, there are no problems with getting in trouble for copyright infringement since they are already royalty-free and ready to use with this system. Once you have used a graphic, it often is placed into the My Media library. If you have used the same graphic previously, such as a logo, often the file will be available for fast adding from My Media library. So, we browse first, and we go to a place where we can find the important thing to understand about this is whenever you add a site or add a graphic, you must upload it, and the system will not go anywhere forward. It'll give you error messages if you forget to upload. So we upload, it goes uploads, and then it's done, and you can save and update and see the results. In my case, I'm going to add a logo to my site that will naturally sit above the text of my header. You can choose the number of photos at the same time before you upload the files to your site. If you add more than one graphic, the slider feature comes into effect automatically. If you want to have more granular control over the slider, you can experiment with slider transitions and increase or decrease the slider interval in seconds. If I want to If you have a video you want to insert as your header background, you can get a direct link from your file server and insert it into ... or video URL. You can insert a number of different video formats, but always be aware that you need to have proper rights to show videos on your site. You can see that you can change the slider interval from 5 to 2 to whatever you want. Save it and it will go faster. In my case, I don't want these extra ones, so I'm going to remove them. Take it, that eliminates it, that eliminates it, and it leaves it me now with just my logo. And that finishes it for the header section. Using buttons. One of the most important benefits of any website is that you can link to almost any other place on the web. Since this site is only one page, there is no way to link to any other pages on the site, since none are available. However, linking to an external location is. Since this is basically a business card for MobileFirst-Personal, I will link there using the buttons widget. If you were observant during the header configuration, you will notice that there is a place to add buttons on that widget as well. However, in this case, we will configure the buttons widget instead. The main difference will be the placement of the buttons on the screen. If we configure buttons in the header, the buttons will be shown at the bottom of the header area. In many cases, we might want the client to read some text or show a graphic or something before allowing them to move off the site to other places. Using an independent widget allows us to more carefully decide where the buttons should be shown. When you click the Buttons widget, you are brought to a form to configure the buttons. The form opens to the list of buttons where you can add a button or define the number of columns your buttons will occupy in a horizontal line on your desktop version. Mobile phones always show only one per line. In this case, we're going to make an external link to the MobileFirst website. I will be configuring 3 buttons, so to save space on the desktop version, I will change the number of columns to 3, then save and update. Click Add a Button to create your first external link to the world. There are 3 parts to a button. If you want it, the first is the The first is the link type. In our case, all will be external links, so in our case, select link type as external link. Besides internal, external, and scroll to the page widget, there are a number of other possible functions for the buttons to perform, including sending email and starting a phone call. In our case, we will select external link. This pops up the link destination where I entered the link for the MobileFirst-Personal site. To modify the text on a button, add it to the text to be shown below the icon. In this case, MobileFirst-Personal. Most often I use a bare button with no other graphics, but you can add either an icon or a graphic of your choice. In this case, I will add an icon. Press the No Icon text in the icon box to see all the icons available for the selection. Select from the extensive options. When you are finished, remember to save and update. If your button looks good on the preview phone, go to the menu area and click buttons to get back to the main button widget entry area. When you are finished, remember to save and update. If your button looks good on the preview phone, go to the menu area and click buttons to get back to the main button widget entry area. Let's add another for practice. In this case, I will add the button for the social and support website. I won't bother to add an icon. Always link type again is external, and I will copy and paste in the correct URL. Always remember to save and update. The third widget to be added is the content block. This is where you can add text and graphics as you wish. I will use it to promote the starter plan. After saving your work, click on the home link on the menu to return to the widgets defined for the page. Open the content block widget. You can add title and subtitle if you wish, and control the fonts, sizes, colors, and alignments as you like. In this case, though, the header seems adequate to me, so all I want to do is add body text. The editor is pretty much a standard editor with the ability to accept text, display graphics, define links, and even display the HTML code if you wish. I'm simply going to paste a little text from the other site. Looking at the output, I noticed that the QR code is not very easy to see. When I need the code to transfer the site to another phone, I want a clear image. It would be much better displayed in the actual body text. To do that, I will take the QR code from the Mobile First site menu above and copy and paste, Control V, it into the body text. Then I want to make sure that this is centered, and we can center all the text if we really want to. Then, as usual, save and update. I use an Apple iPhone, and I take a picture of the QR code, make sure that the site is transferable with the QR code that's on your screen, and make sure it's a valid code, and then you're finished with that part. Now we're going to go to a little bit of bells and whistles. Go back to home. One of the most important functions of a vCard is to allow the client to contact you in the future. This can be done by adding the Form Contact widget. Quite often, this widget is used on its own page, but since there is only one page for this site, we will place it at the bottom of the page. Since it will be so far down, it may never even be seen. So we also want to make a button to save the user, to send the user to the form easily. Move to the home page and open it to the Widgets section. Add a new widget, the Form Contact. Once it opens, you can simply save and update the form, and the contact form will automatically be generated and placed at the bottom. If you want to add other fields to the message, message that they can send, it is easy to do by using the black Add a New Field button. I don't need any other information from the user, so I will leave the contact form as it defaults. I do need to do a few more things to make this better. First, I will give a name to this widget, Contact Me, and then so that I can add this to the field right below the undo and redo buttons. The widget is now named. Next, I will add a little text above the form to identify what it is. And in the text form field, I'll do a little bit of changes, bold it, center it, 14 points, save and update. And there's the Contact Me form. Fits all in one thing. Next, I will add a little text above the form. Alternately, you can also use the forms in the intro, text, and titles and text, this part and this part. To identify the form, use one or the other as per your personal taste. You get much more control over the font, the size, and the colors with the intro section, assuming it's just a text or a subtext. Otherwise, you can put it in here. You now need to add the address where the form needs to send the messages. Be sure it is a valid email address so the mail is properly delivered. If you want to cut out bots and other non-human responders, use the enable captcha to eliminate spam as much as possible. Add your email here, and if you want, add on a captcha, and then save and update. The main problem with only having one page is that the screen for the Contact Me form is at the very bottom and may not get seen if the user does not scroll all the way down. To overcome this problem, add the form to your buttons. This time, we will be using an internal link to point to the Contact Me page where we named the widget Contact Me. So we go back to Home. We go to the buttons. We add a button. The link type now is a scroll to the page section. On the page section, we should have the Contact Me right there. Add the name. Contact Me. Save and update. I'm not going to use an icon. And you have Contact Me. When you click it, it goes directly to it. It scrolls past through it. All that is left to do is a few finishing touches to the site and it's ready to go. The first is to homogenize the look and feel of the entire site. Understand that every page you have can have a header with background control over that header, and it can also control the actual page, the page itself, as far as backgrounds and things like that. But it is often easier to define a particular look and feel across the entire site. To do this, we must explore the Style menu. At the top of the page. This is where you can select and change templates. Those are usually only found on our paid plans, but underneath the template section is the color font section. It is here that you can better define the overall look and feel of your site. Here. I will be using the color and fonts I prefer, but the system offers a huge range of choices, and what you define is up to your tastes and preferences. As mentioned previously, I prefer the font Righteous for my main titles and subtitles. I normally use Roboto for the body text and Open Sans Condense for navigation and menus. I stay with a very small color palette for all my sections, using blue, yellow, and aqua mostly, and red for the actual links. I have decided on a certain colors across my entire digital real estate assets, so the blue background will be offset by yellow text. I use red to highlight links, aqua to differentiate the actual buttons, and the background blue is my button text color. Fill in all the boxes and then save and update. When you do, the actual color you selected is displayed in the color wheel beside each entry. The phone display also changes its background as the default site settings have been activated. As you can see, you can play around, do anything you want to do until you get it the way you like it. Right now, I like that much better. The final step is to make sure the navigation and legal details of the footer are defined. Move to the Options footer. If you don't want navigation at the bottom of the phone, you don't need to do anything. But if you want the higher level menus to be available for the user when he's at the bottom of the page and things, change the other contents and menus. And then in the footer menu, main. That will change the footer at the bottom from nothing to adding the home, which brings you right back to the top. You can add some text, but I don't want to waste space in the device, so I'll leave that blank. What is more important is to ensure that your legal requirements for the site are met. Once again, move to Options, move to Legal and Privacy. Then select Legal and Privacy to get the terms of service and the privacy policy available for you. Our pay plans offer a good generic set of these to be modified as required. I will be using my standard TOC and private policies here. You need to input your own. I find that using the editor in the regular mode is quite difficult, and my policies are already formatted the way I want them to be. So I use the source code option in the editor to simply copy and paste them into my site. Now you can see that in the bottom, not only is the home there, but the terms and the TOS and the privacy are all there, as well as to use the cookies. This way you're legal as far as the various legislation is concerned. Once that is done, save and update changes. The important of the footer and save and update changes and the importance of the footer, and adds to the TOC and the privacy policy behind it. I hope that this tutorial has shown the power and ability of this single page of a MobileFirst-Personal website. Just consider how much more powerful the system will be if you decide to upgrade to the paid membership. There are no contracts, cancel at any time.